Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns and watch my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. It's Saturday as we record, therefore, it is time for Star Wars Saturdays. We are in the middle of a quarterly, meaning I'm running this game for 3 months, of Hyperspace D6. Hyperspace D6 harkens back to the original Star Wars role-playing game, which used a six-sided die, and it came out in the 80s. It's pretty fun, but it's also a many hundreds of pages book. And the system was opened up for development called OpenD6. OpenD6. Matthew Click created Hyperspace D6, which is about a 25, 30 page game, harkening back and is interoperable with Star Wars role playing game, the original from West End Games. And I looked at it, fell in love with it, and then I hacked it myself because I don't want to roll dice, basically. So instead of a Hyperspace D6, which does have GM rolling dice and players rolling dice, I set target numbers. That's basically all I did. Okay, that's not true. I also changed the harm system so that it was just a single number, and I mixed in some conditions from Lady Blackbird because I like them a lot. And that's it, I think. Maybe I did more. Who cares? It's a game. We're having fun with it. It's interoperable with Star Wars stuff, which means it gives me an excuse to run old Star Wars modules that I found interesting, such as this one which comes from the Star Wars D6 Instant Adventures from a long ago. I believe it came out in the 90s. That's right. It's older than at least one of the players in this game. And one player, K, unable to make it, or it would have been two players. So there you go. Not that it makes it better, just makes it older. I have expurgated it and cleaned it up and twisted it and rehashed it and all that kind of stuff. But oh man, I did not know that. For some reason, I thought you were a 90s boy. Okay. Well, you're so old. God, how do you even stay ambulatory, Will? You're so old. Okay. Anyway, let's go around the horn and remind ourselves of our players. In fact, several of the players, like this first time they're playing in this series together, which is wonderful. I love that. Let's start from the right hand side of our character keeper, heading towards the left, which means that I kick off with you, Greg. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hey, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Shan, who is last name is there. Okay. Headsert. Shan is a mining tech. I did find it in my notes. I owe a lot of money to Merrick and Kolb, the mining conglomerate that runs this planet. And they are tied in with House Rena, which is probably bad for Shan. Um, on last week's episode 2 weeks ago, Shan did a lot of hacking and is probably suspicious in this casino because he's done hacking here before, or at least suspected of doing hacking.
Thank you so much, Greg. Next up is Andesh.
Hello, I'm Anders, he, him. I'm playing Cola Breaker Breck, she, her. She used to be a getaway driver for a bunch of ne'er-do-wells, scum and villains, and she sold them out, took the money, and joined the rebellion. And nothing bad will happen because of this. If any bounty hunters show up, it's not because of her, it's someone else.
Of course, bounty hunters only care about important people, so you're fine. Next up, we have Will.
Hi, I'm playing Dengio Folbet of House
Barnaba.
Banaba. Yes, I was going to say Barabbas, but that's a different thing. House Banaba. He is a Tapani noble, known to the common folk and to members of his family as Andon. And he's basically a bit of a bleeding heart who tries to use his position of nobility to help people get around the Empire's iron grip and the exploitations of the other nobles of the Tapani Sector, and has joined up with the rebellion. Slash, he still insists on calling it the rebellion because until the New Republic's here, it's the rebellion. Like It's New Republic when it's over there. It's the Rebellion when it's over here. Um, so yeah, that's Andon.
You're on the west side of the bank. If you're on
Yes.
the left side of the bank, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Will. And last but certainly not least is Stephen.
Hi, my name is Stephen. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Jody or J0D1, whose pronouns are she, her. And Jody is a conglomeration of, different droid parts that she's put together and modified. And she's all about droids' rights. For a while, she ran an enclave on Black Spire Rock, I think. One of the settlements that we had, where she collected droids, brought them into the enclave, made sure that they understood what it was like to be free, and then went back out. She's already gotten the group in trouble with proselytizing too much, and maybe needs to keep a lot of that on the download a little bit more. Yeah.
Well, we pre-recording did a bit of recap for everyone. You are on the planet of Argovia. Argovia is home to miners, primarily substance like coal. So there is like a dust that permeates the air. It even causes problems in the nicest casino on Argovia, known as Tenz's. It is a well-known landmark, about three-story transparent steel building filled with flashing lights, gaudy chrome statues, and throngs of miners. Inside, the air is processed, so it has that thing that could give somebody a nosebleed over time, but significantly less coal dust here, which is great. Also, it is filled with the sounds of a gambling casino gone mad, with shrill whistles that pierce the air, loud bells clanging, and everywhere is the clatter of brass hitting wood and plastic as hundreds of miners shoot brass balls into the tacky Sanchango gambling machines. Sanchango is played by tossing a metal ball into an upright machine in the hopes of dislodging other balls inside. And each ball that you dislodge is worth a credit. Uh, Somewhere we see our our friend, our Zydarian friend Sai has gotten lost in the games, and perhaps a one-armed bandit has caught their attention. Also inside, there is a small stage and performers. There is a group playing core drive music. Shan is introducing Andon to the concept. I don't imagine that this is a. You tell me, Shan, is this a stage where there are actual dignified seats and rows and the like, or is this a stage and lots of standing room only folks who are
Standing room only, for sure.
excellent? This core drive group, you've heard them before. They're locals, right?
Yes.
Um, what is their opinion of you?
Um, oh, that's good. It's mixed. There's members of the band who, knew me back when I was a minor here, and respect me for keeping people alive and servicing the stuff. But there's other people who feel that I've left and that, I've sold out in a way.
Excellent. Warren Sidoru is a member of the core drive band. He plays, oh man, I had it in my head and I've lost it. What is the weird drum set that the three-headed alien played, right? Oh, I'm just the worst.
Star Wars drum set. Ooh, getting a
Uh,
whole bunch of other stuff.
I know I'm the worst. I should not have asked this question.
No,
Oh
no, it's fine.
man. What did you say? Did you say it?
No,
It's like red
uh,
drum something.
the red
Ah, it
drum.
doesn't
We'll
matter.
call it
Doesn't
the
matter.
red drum. I like the red drum.
Okay. It's oh man, it's fine. So it's got a weird multi-layered drum set. Warren is the drummer for this core drive band, and he takes note of you being here, Shan, and that's not a great. You you feel a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach because he does not. He thinks you're sold out. He thinks you're no good beatnik, and he's not afraid to say so. Outside, Cola had stepped out to try to find a vehicle for you because you are currently at the early part of your mission. You need to find a forger slash counterfeiter in Argova City, where you currently are. Your contact's name is Bats. Bats has all of the details on the Imperial sensor net that you are to take down, and he has idents that will allow you to get inside. Um, and it turns out that Cola, when she went out to check out cluster drums, thank you, Greg. You win the no prize for the game session. Excellent work. If only I thought of that before I'd said it out loud. But I've got it now. I think it's the red because the picture of the cluster drums is stuck in my head. Anyway, on the Wikipedia article, which you linked us to, no prize plus two. Uh, Cola, you'd stepped out to try to lift a vehicle. That's important. And found that there was someone who fitting the description of Bats, your contact, waiting in an alley. Oh, wait, he's not waiting in an alley. He's getting the living poodoo beaten out of him in an alley. Rain started to come, which is great for the coal dust, less good for the fact that it's a hard rain. Mud puddles are already starting to form. Jody, if I remember correctly, you stepped out at some point. Maybe Cole had called
Yeah,
out?
I think
Okay.
Cola said something on the comms, and I went running to back her up.
Yeah, yeah. I said I said something like our contact's in trouble. I'm going in, and then I think I scared off the lookout. I I remember making an intimidation roll, and my latest roll is a 19 there. So I think
You're
that's
very
all.
scared. So you had called off the lookout and he decided to beat feet because it was not worth whatever trouble you're bringing. Small redheaded girl with weird tattoos.
And a big blaster.
Oh, that's true. You do have an oversized blaster. That's
Yeah.
he doesn't care about the girl, just the fact that the girl can pull the trigger.
Hmm.
That is enough for him, and he's like, bump this noise, not enough for me. So, Cola and Jody, the two of you now have the ability to step into that alleyway if you so choose. You also could just, like hockey refs, wait till the fight's mostly over and then sort it out later. That's fine. What do you do?
Who's that?
Pardon?
Who is that?
Oh, it's Cola and Jody. You are now outside. Jody's right near the alleyway. Jody was coming across the street. Maybe a speeder slows down and yells, "Come on, can't you see I'm driving here?" And you continue across the street. The two of you, I assume, enter the alleyway or hang back.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Okay. Um, I think what Jody's going to do is she's got a smoke grenade and she's going to roll it into the alleyway in order to and kind of in that area so we can grab our contact and pull them out.
Okay, that's your plan. That's a pretty decent plan. Let's have you. We'll call this a moderate roll because you're trying to create. Well, is it moderate? No, I think it's pretty easy. Just go ahead and toss that in there.
Okay. And let's build a dice pool. This would probably be throw. Ooh, we have a throw.
You do indeed have a
Okay.
throw.
So too bad I don't have a die in it. So I've got two dice. How else do I get dice?
Oh, you can spend, and I know Lowell hates this, but he's not playing with us. You can spend character points, or if this is really important to you, you can spend your soul force point and double all of your dice. You're rolling dice and adding them together, so the sum is what you want, and you need a 10 or better. If you look on the left-hand side of the character keeper team tab, where your character is, you'll see the target numbers are listed there for you.
Yeah. I wish there was another way to get an extra
If you got
die.
help, if Cola were to help you, then Cola could give you a die.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just going to start blasting, so I'm not sure how I mean, I can be the one who scoots forward to actually
Oh,
grab our
that sounds smart.
contact.
Oh yeah, that sounds perfect. Okay. So then let me roll my 3 dice. Um, see what that roll. Oh. Oh, that's low. That's a 6.
Oh my, 3d6 and you got a 6. That is some terrible dice.
Uh,
Awesome. I mean, not awesome. Here's what happens. Cola, you're about to fire. You pull back so Jody can toss the grenade. You roll the grenade, and it has the little blinking red light that tells us that a thing is active. It rolls forward, clinks against the dumpster, and a little bit of smoke. It sounds like a wet fart. And it whee, and nothing more comes out of the smoke grenade. It is the dice have determined a dud. We cut back to the interior of Tenza's. And then, how are you taking the show? It is very punk. There are no seats. There's no balcony from which you could be safer because people are starting to, like, some of the miners. They're still wearing their big, heavy. They do take off their gloves. And I think they heard about this on Ferrix, that planet that was from long ago, and they put their gloves on this like pegs, but they're still wearing their very heavy mining outfits, and they're starting to like bump into each other a little bit of you know, a little rough and tumble. Me get shoved a couple times. Anything? How are you liking it?
He's not liking it at all. He's like, uh, you know, completely out of. This is not. This is very much not like any of the Tapani nobles' formal dances. You know, or even the more hedonistic, like raves like we see in Mon Mothma do in Andor.
What? I can't hear
What?
you.
Uh, smashing show. Yes, yes.
We need to get out of here.
Get clear of what?
Get. And Shan starts pointing at the drummer. Not
Um,
good.
and you point at the drummer, and Andon looks over and goes, "Oh, a friend of yours," and then waves and smiles at the drummer.
No.
Like,
Nice.
but if you
Uh,
start pulling Andon out, he won't resist. We will leave as someone like shoulder barges into him and expects to be shoulder barged back, and Andon just goes, "Dreadfully sorry."
nice.
I'm looking around. Are there other people on the outside looking in? Who else has grokked that Shan is here?
That is a great question. You scan, it's not even a roll because he's so distinctive. They are so distinctive. You see the Twi'lek known as Zint Nali. They are representative of the mining conglom or the mining conglom, and they have a couple of security officers of Tenza's here. Now, this is security officers. They have to deal with miners, so they are not gentle. They will not send you into that sweet good night. But Zint is making their way into the stage area with the concert section, and one of the security individuals has moved forward. It's a Gamorrean, and they're parting the crowd,
Mm.
and it looks like they're headed towards you. What do you do?
Uh, Shanna's gonna start aggressively moshing to see if we can throw the Gamorrean off. Is that a brawl roll? I don't
That
know.
sounds fun. Yeah. So let's see if you can pull that off. I'm going to say that this is their whole thing. So I'm going to call it a
Ah,
moderate difficulty. You are in the perfect environment to get folks riled, and it's not like the miners love the security here. They just know that if they want to keep dancing slash gambling, that they have to listen to the stupid nerf herders.
uh, I'm just gonna look up real quick because I actually haven't three times the new dice code, so I am actually going to spend three of my to get 1D in Brawl because I hadn't done any character advancement anyways. So that gives me three dice, and then I'm gonna burn uh, a character die to roll four. Does that all check out? Is that legal? All right, here we go. 15, right?
Uh, Correct.
Oh no, not so much.
That is a faily fail. Um, that's amazing. So first, I just want to ask a quick question. I see that you've highlighted that you have armor. What does Shan's armor look like?
It's a mining blast vest. It's meant to, they use detonation charges. It's essentially PPE.
Nice. Yeah. So you try to motivate some folks to get in on the Gamorrean, and one of them like slams into the Gamorrean, knocks him almost off of his feet. And that's when very quickly Zint uh, pulls out one of those like electric shock prods and zaps the dude that just roughhoused
Oh,
the Gamorrean. The guy jerks a couple times and falls to the ground and almost gets stomped on, but then somebody could, but etiquette, somebody like grabs that person up and tries to pull them back up to their feet, but they're out. Um, but now the Gamorrean has been shoved like right. He falls and then he gets up. He's right by you, Shan. And he grabs you. So I'm going to give you the condition right now of trapped.
not good.
It's not great. No. Anton, you could easily pull a fade right here and now. They don't care about you except that you look nice.
Yeah. Um, you know what? I look nice. These are security. What house was it that runs this planet again?
Oh, what house runs this planet? This planet is There's a great question. I'm going to answer you in just a second. It is run by House Rena, Reena.
Rena. Andon's going to step up to the security guard uh, and shake his head and yell over the music. What are you doing to my man there? I'm from House Rena. How dare you touch my manservant?
Ooh, throwing down house creds. That is, you're dressed like it. So because of your dress and your panache, I'm going to say that this is a moderate roll. So very loud.
Hmm?
You do look out of place enough to where that is not a necessarily difficult thing, but I'll give you a moderate difficulty. Let's have you build that roll. Sounds like you're trying to deceive, and you're not
Yeah,
bad at that.
I have 5 dice in deceive. And you know what?
Would you like to spend some of your copious character points to give
I
yourself
will
other
do.
dice?
I will do. So that will be 6 die.
I mostly say that in hopes that someday Lowell watches this video and gets more and more angry at the fact that you're spending XP to get dice right
Yeah,
now. He hates it so much.
somewhere, whatever Lowell's doing at this very second, it's like 1,000 things cried out and were suddenly silenced, right?
I'm sure he's planning much better, more awesome games than dealing with my mediocre work, but it still amuses me. Wow, you are so good at this. Um, you browbeat that Gamorrean, and it hears, oh, House Rena sees with its little piggy eyes your ostentatious, like nice or
Nice.
ostentatious, nice,
Well, it was
nice,
not ostentatious because it's undercover, right? So, but you
well
can only
cut.
be as undercover as a Tapani nobleman's wardrobe would allow, right?
Cape or no cape?
Cape, of course, can't go anywhere
Okay,
without a cape. What kind of? Then you'd be a
okay, good, good.
hey, you'd be naked.
Okay, that's true. That's true. So
You know?
and he sees the cape, and he lets out a little squeal, and you may remove trapped, Shan, because he unhands you, as demanded by
And
Andon.
I point at the Gamorrean and I say, "Escort us out of here now." And I point in a direction, and I want him to clear a path through the mosh pit. So,
Uh, yeah, the Gamorrean does that and starts making a path. The other guard pushes a few people back to create space, but then Zint, the Twi'lek, slides in. Oh, I was unaware of anyone from house coming here today. And before you respond, we're going to cut back to our fight. Cola, Jody, the smoke grenade sucks, but you don't. What do you wish to do? Bats at this point, you see that one of the guys has just like shoved him. He's sitting, he shoved him against the wall, punched him in the face, and you see a tooth bloop, 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 kind of come towards you guys as he spits a little bit of blood, and one of them says, "You're gonna pay with blood since you won't pay with credits, you deadbeat."
How about we pay with blasters? And I'm just holding my oversized blaster up and yeah, trying to scare them off. How many of them are there?
There are five of them.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm still gonna go for it.
Sweet. Um, by the way, none of them have guns drawn.
Hmm.
So who knows? Maybe this will be real easy. You're trying to intimidate or scare a guy off. I think that this is a moderate difficulty. You do have a blaster. There are more of them than you. I think moderate. Moderate is kind of my default, and I'll go up and down based off of situations. So you'll need a 15. Let's see. You're intimidating, not actually firing. So build your
Yeah,
roll.
yeah, and I have a 46, which puts me at a slight advantage, unless Jody can help me, maybe.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to pull out my blaster as well, so they see, you know, two people coming at them.
That makes sense. Two people with blasters is a little scarier than one person with blaster.
I'm rolling
You
five
need a
dice.
15. Good job. Good luck. Wow, that looks like an amazing roll. Um,
22.
Sweet. So yeah, you both boom boom, you drawing on them. Is Jody like the two pistols like we see in the pic?
No, just one.
Okay, sweet. So both of you drawing like side by side, Pulp Fiction style, right? And the one guy, you see the blood on his knuckles. He's drawing back again, and one of his buddies taps him like, "Yo, yo." He looks over, and he stands up. These guys aren't terrified of you, but he puts his hands up. He says, "You gonna pay? You gonna pay what he owes?" His friends of yours, bats. They definitely know you're not Imperial. Like, I mean, you're a freaking
Yeah, yeah.
droid and a not Imperial dressed person with tattoos and stuff. So these guys are. There's a dumpster to their right. There's a couple doors out. This is a through and through alley, so it is not a dead end alley. But at this point, you have them cowed and dead to rights unless something changes. What do you do?
Jody's going to reach over with her empty hand and grab a hold of Bats and pull
Okay,
him
so you're
behind
moving into
us.
the alley.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cool, cool.
yeah. I'm going to step into the alley, I'm gonna kick that stupid grenade out of the way and grab Bats and pull him over to us so that, and all the while holding a gun on him.
Yeah, and Bats, he's like, he spits a little bit of blood. A little bit of it gets on your cool poncho thing. Unfortunately, he was trying to, spit it there. And he's like, "Yes, it's my protocol droid."
How much do you owe?
You don't want to know. And he leans against you. He is beat up hard. Um. So yeah, he wants to just get the hell out of here. What do you? These guys are watching. They're waiting for an opportunity at this point, just like for
Oh,
you to stop paying enough attention. You notice, Cola. You notice one of the guys. You see the hilt of a gun. He's got a blaster pistol.
Yeah,
so I turn to
I'm
them
just
and I
going
say,
to sorry, keep them covered while Jody grabs Bats and gets him out of here, and then back out of the alley. If they try anything, I'll probably shoot them, depending on what they're doing.
how much does he owe?
Three
I asked
large.
them. Three large?
Three large. And if
Yeah.
we don't get it out of him, Temple's coming.
Um,
3,000.
yeah. I think I'm gonna pull some credits out of my bag, um, and toss them on the ground. This is not 3,000, right?
Okay.
This is, some small amount that would be a distraction. So the intention here is to drop something so that they take a look while we book.
Okay. Um, like, is it 10%? What do you?
Let's see. It says I have 750 creds. I'm gonna. It's a couple hundred creds. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you toss that on the ground to buy yourself a little bit of time. You grab him up. Unfortunately, Cola, you hadn't secured an actual vehicle, but you guys have extricated yourselves from the alley. So just so we're clear, um, Temple is the name that the thug mentioned.
Yeah.
And they also said, "We know where you live, Bats." Um, so yeah. Uh, Bats is like, "Hey, thanks a lot."
Oh,
You're
we didn't get
peeling
you out
into
of
the,
it.
the hole.
They're still coming for you. We just got you long enough to get what we need.
Yeah, I know. I know. Who are you guys?
We're your contacts.
He glances back. Oh, huh. Let's cut back inside. So, Zint has made their way to you, Andon. I was not made aware that there was a house presence arriving.
This isn't official. We're just here to see the local color, the local music, I believe. Quite quaint, quite quaint. In fact, could we perhaps move away from it? I think I've had my fill.
Uh, do you want to come to my office?
No, no, no. Simply take us out onto the floor. We can talk there. I rather wanted to do some gambling. This is a casino, is it not? Come now. And I beckon Shan forward. Uh, my local guide, you see, I hired them to show me around the delights of Argovia, but so far I'm finding there are few and far between.
Where are you staying? I make sure that the mining conglomerate is aware of your presence and will make sure your stay is good.
Well, what would be the point in that? I'm not here to see a curated package. I want the authentic Argovia, smelly and loud and frankly nauseous as it is. You wouldn't understand, of course, having not been fortunate to be born within the Tapani nobility. But such things keep us humble, you understand? It's very important. I mean, look at me. Could you see a more humble person within here? Shan? Here, boy.
Hasten.
If you guys want to make your way out of the casino, you can.
Mhm. Well, I don't see that we have anything to gain from talking to this casino. I mean, as far as I'm aware, we're here to talk to this guy. We went to the Core Drive concert to see if he was there. Supposedly, he wasn't there. Being involved in the casino more seems to be a recipe for blowing our cover. So,
Shan will grab the bottom of your cape and hold it as
yes,
you walk out, like
yes,
making
yes,
it billow just a little bit,
nice.
looking dejected.
Yes. So, Zint, was it?
Sind, correct.
Zint. Ah, yes, of course. Well, don't worry. I'll put in a good word with you with the family. You're clearly doing a bang up job here. However, that band, mm, perhaps book somebody else. Yes.
Of course.
There's a
Of
rather
course.
good string quartet group playing traditional Tapani songs. They're
Pull out a
doing a
little
certain,
data pad. They're like writing down ideas from you.
yes, a rather good 3-2-5 step, uh, chordly. It could rather reinvigorate your workforce, I feel.
Sir Andon, Your Honor, I believe your ride may be arriving.
Ah, yes, good. Well, then keep up the good work. Tell that Gamorrean he does a good job once he's knows who he's talking to.
Of course. I will let him know. Thank you for gracing Tenzes with your presence,
Ah,
my
yes. Well,
lord.
the pleasure is all yours. Yes. And sweep out imperiously, sweating buckets as we go, you know. And as we leave, is this likely to happen often? Does everyone here hate you, Ensart? Ensart?
It's about 50-50. And
Uh,
Shan's looking around outside of the car park, like, where the hell did they go?
50-50 is rather good odds for a casino when you think about it. Now, I believe that Cola was going to acquire us some means of transportation. We've got
Uh,
our
yeah, you guys scan across,
Yeah.
speeders zipping past through the rain, and you see Jody is half carrying some guy, and Cola is covering the two of them, and she's got her blaster out, which not a great idea, but probably the smart idea right now.
Ah, well, I see you found our contact. Oh, did you do this to him?
No, he has some friends back in the alley that we want to make sure do not come after us.
Govir is full of friends. That's what I'm discovering. Perhaps we could leave, though, before we make any new ones.
All my ideas for you guys are back in my place.
Okay. Well, then, let us go there. Uh, taxi?
Is it walking
Yes.
distance?
Yes, you can procure uh like a Johnny Cab. They have an astromech type droid that runs a speeder service, a
Uh,
la our
an, an
first
astromech,
Mandalorian. Hmm?
an astromech droid that has like a death stick sticking out of one of its ports, you know? Unlit, but just always there, and a little hat on, right, the entire time. Like, yeah.
That's very clever. You imagine it's a speeder that is enclosed, but the astromech droid is like affixed to the front and is raining down on the little astromech droid as it pulls up. You guys pile in, and soon we do a little star wipe, and you're coming up to the um, prefab Duracrete apartment complex, and uh, I think on the way, Bats asks, "You guys got any back to?"
No,
care best. Got any death sticks?
I could buy the one off the astromech if you wish, but it looks rather bedraggled.
Probably not. They didn't tell me there was a noble among you. Hmm.
Well, I'm traveling in disguise. There's
Poorly.
Kate Billows in the wind.
Yeah, poorly. So, yeah, Star Wipe, you guys arrive. He leans hard on you, Jody. Like, it's this guy may have some internal bleeding. Like, he is messed up. His face is looks like a pepperoni pizza. Lips swollen up, one eye swollen shut, blood. He is in rough shape. But he will direct you if you will help him down a set of steps into basement apartment, his workshop area. Cola and Jody, you remember that these guys said, "We know where you live." So, you know, that's a thing.
So I think that Kola and I should uh help Bats into his place on our own. I've still got my gun out, right? And I'm keeping an eye on things. Oh, Shan, you would know who the enforcers are here. I was like, so I turned to Shan and I was like, keep an eye for, and I kind of described the five guys and someone named Temple.
Hey, Shan, you know
Temple.
Temple. Temple's
Kark.
like a boogeyman. Temple is this almost full on cyborg who's a hunter for the mining conglom. There are a lot of rumors about where Temple is when Temple isn't out hunting. But whenever you see Temple out, they are hunting. He is hunting someone down. Otherwise, you don't see Temple.
Tyree, what'd you do to piss off Temple?
Bats, right? That's the name of the guy.
Yeah, Temple.
Bats. Tyree's our main
Hunt.
handler, right? Like the guy who sent us on the mission.
Oh, my bad. Bats is the okay.
Bats is
Yeah,
the
Bats
guy.
is
Bats, what did you do to piss off Temple?
Owe him some money? Not him. I don't know him. I think it's just a bunch of trash. Spits a little bit of blood on the floor as he heads in. You see that his workshop is, I mean, it's not made to manufacture goods. It is, there's a work table he has with a computer, like a big Star Wars computer with a small ass monitor, and you see that he has um like a laser cutter, and he manufactures idents and grabs things, and he says, listen, hands you a data pad, says this is the map. If you go to the maps tab, I will reveal the map of the Imperial Sensor Net complex. I'll need a few minutes to grab some pics of you guys. He gets a little device and turns it on, and this like camera droid comes and starts spinning around. It's going to start with Shan. It like, spins around you, and you see these little flashes of light as it's taking pictures.
Well, the sooner the better. I understand that this temple knows where you live, Bats. So perhaps you should find somewhere else to be once we're done with our business here.
Like a
Uh,
hospital?
he
Yes.
fumbles through this little set of drawers and pulls out a little back to spray. Starts spraying it on his face. Yeah, it's a great idea. If I didn't have to come back here, I wouldn't. But hey, you see the wounds start to close a little bit. Maybe you guys can help me pick up important stuff. And where are you staying? You want a ship? You got a ship somewhere?
Uh, Operational security, you understand, dear boy.
Hey, I'm doing you a solid. I cut
Yes,
my rates for your people.
and
Oh,
I'll pull out 100 creds and I'll say, yes, you're doing us a solid, and here is somewhere for you to do us. That's to relax and rest and recover from your injuries. Unless you want to join us, of course.
Ooh.
Shan makes like a left right like shifty eye as the cameras are going around his head. Like, I don't know if bringing him with is a good idea.
Oh yeah, but you know, uh, it's better to have a loose lips where you can see them than somewhere else where they can be uh,
So here's the
right
deal.
about.
He says he's going to need some time
Hmm.
to do this. If you pick all this stuff up and move it, it's going to take him longer to reset up everything the way he wants. The longer you stay here, the more at risk you are. Um,
Hmm.
and if he goes somewhere, you don't have many places to go, unless Sheehan would like to call on some old friends, maybe, you know.
But we're waiting here to get idents to go to Sentinel Complex. Does Bats know that he's working for the Republic, the Rebel
He
Alliance? Like
does.
he does, so he's at least on board to that end, right? So our options are we move him to keep him safe, or we wait longer here, or we get him to do the idents as soon as possible, and we run the risk of his mates coming to assault him here in his home while we're here. Um, I don't view the mining syndicate temple as particularly caring about us. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the Imperials are coming after him and going to interrogate him on what he's been doing, sort of stuff. It'll just be you owe us money. Uh, so what do we want to do, guys?
Well, we need to get in and out. So I'd say we take the risk and stay here as quickly as possible. I don't
Yeah,
know how to close up the loose ends.
yeah, that would be my bet, and then give him some money and be like, "Thank you, good
Uh,
luck."
I've already given him some money just to get
Yes,
away.
yes, yes, but he needs walking around. What's it called? Walking around money? I think that's what people call it, of course.
Uh,
We
so if
also
you,
need to make sure he stays quiet.
ooh, just because I thought this was pretty neat in the actual module, I will show you the idents. Um, of course, they're black and white, right? Because everything was black and white in the Star Wars modules from back in the day. But this was the cover of the thing, and then this is the little ident. I was gonna do like mod up some stuff. I did not have the time for it. It was
My
like 2
immersion's
weeks.
broken completely, Rich.
So if I'm the first
Sorry.
one to get my idents done,
Yep.
I'll go over to Jody. Jody, do you have any explosives on you?
Um, and I kind of say, not anymore. I had a grenade. It didn't work. It was a dud. So,
I have a frag grenade. Heads hard if you wish.
Give me that. Shan's gonna try to set up an explosive trap on the main door to this place, so that if they come in through the front door, there's a booby trap. It'll explode in their face.
I mean, I also have a stun grenade if you wish to, you know.
Well,
that might be better. It wouldn't, you know, close out our exit. Um, I don't think Jody is going to get an ident card. I think Jody would actually get like a droid authorization code.
Yep.
yeah.
And
And you've already got the fake restraining bolt, so
yeah, yeah.
you're
And in
probably
fact,
gonna have to ditch the like dope poncho and
right.
hide the guns. But yeah, you
But
can.
I think that there's also like a point where I spray paint the is it an Imperial facility we're hitting? It
Yes,
is. So
100%.
I think there's a point where Bratz pulls me over and like embeds like a little Imperial symbol.
Oof.
So
Yeah, you have like on your little pauldron or whatever. He basically removes it and then puts it underneath this laser thing, and it puts an imperial symbol on it.
yeah.
And he quickly starts working on Andon and Cola's imperial idents, and he directs you guys over to where he has a set of uniforms. Cola, none of them fit you. You are way too small. And Shan, none of them exactly fit you. You're a little too big. You're just kind of beefy. It's just a little tight. And then one of them fits you like a glove. Like you look good and dashing.
Who? Rather good cut on these, I must say. And he looks over at the two of you, looking like, uh, fashion rejects. And he says, "Well, suppose we can't all look good."
And I think so. Jody's going to take a look at the place, kind of walk around, look around at the place itself to see if I can't pick up any of the stuff that's going on. But primarily, I'm looking for a back door, an exit. So if Temple comes in, we can get GTFO. Yeah.
Okay. So just want to review. Um, Andon, you have. I'm just want to talk through your options. So you have the edge of favors. If you wanted to say, I'm calling in a favor to pay off Bats' debt, that would be your favor for Argovia. Maybe your favor for the entire series, since you know what's happening. So that's an option. Um, Also, Shan's setting up a grenade, and I would ask for a roll for you to set that up if Temple comes in the front door, and you try to do the work as quickly as possible and GTFO. So I noticed that fave
Yeah,
edge, and I wanted to make sure that I
I think
highlighted it as an
I
option.
think that's probably the most appropriate one because short of extraction, I don't see the favors coming in particularly while we are undercover. I would have to tip the mission off to some degree, right? Whereas like to pay off, I ring up, I comlink a member of House Rena who owes me something from, a pod racing gambling debt from several years back that he's never paid off. Trivial sum of money, like, oh yes, he owes large. know, yes, yes.
Oh, how quaint. I haven't thought of it as large. Ever. Yes, of course. Forgiven. No worries. I'll put a word in.
Good show, good show. See you at the tracks, dear boy.
Indeed.
And I will give the good news to Bats and say, well, uh, hopefully they've got good communications in this temple with this temple because your debt will be cleared shortly.
Oh.
And I think
Ah.
after it's all done, I lean forward and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure that's a good idea. He's scum. He's just going to run up another debt.
Well, yes, that's purely within his remit to do so. Didn't cost me anything. Well, a minor favor owed by Jafandor Rena, but not really of importance.
And I think I turn back to Bats and I'm like, um, with this extra payment, it also pays for your silence. You should take all of us to the grave.
Yeah, that's the plan. If I went around blabbing about my work, then I wouldn't have much work, would I?
Exactly. I
Okay.
mean, there are some people who would hurt you, and I can see you can take a hit, but in this case, it's important that you never saw us. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't even have to make a roll. This is kind of his bread and butter. So he is not gonna. He has no plans. Now, if he were captured by Imperials and tortured, yeah, he'd probably rat you out. But there's no warning you could give to prevent that.
Well, who among us has reached the Andor in Rogue One level of jaded spy, right? Uh, Not Andon so far.
Not so far. So, um, Temple does not come knocking. And you now have Imperial uniforms, Imperial idents that should get you through. You have passcodes that are a little low, but they check out. Can't help myself. And you have a map. You still have a mission to take the SensorNet offline. And you do have a bit of a time clock. You need to get this done within a solar day. They're counting on it. There are forces waiting for confirmation that you've completed your mission so that they can move forward.
Otherwise, many Bothans might die.
It's true.
Yeah.
Spothans, though, they're real good at it.
I do we have what do we have any assets with which to complete our mission?
Uh, you guys have the gear that you were provided. You have, as long as you can get out of here, out of the sensor net in peace. The captain of the Vosentas has said she will wait for you and
Oh,
get you out of here.
speaking of, I will drop a line uh to Bats that hey, the freighter we came in on, there's some fairly decent stuff. They consider it junk, but around here you could sell it for a good piece. Um, so I told the captain I'd try, right?
You did try, and I want to see you roll dice to try.
Okay.
I think convincing him to make some profit isn't impossible. So I'll say again, a moderate die roll. It is stuff that she hasn't been able to move to this point. So I think that's why it's not easy.
Yeah. Is this streetwise, I would guess?
Streetwise could totally work for
Or
sure.
or is this bargain? So I'm not actually
Uh,
like negotiating price. I'm just like giving him a lead.
let's go streetwise. I think that can work for me.
Okay.
Is anyone helping you?
Yes, and then we'll say, there's an honorable trade in buying and selling scrap junk, such as this, items such as this, and it comes with less risk of getting your head stomped on.
I'm not sure honorable trade is going to be helpful with him, but
Yeah,
I fully support this.
you're giving a die, but he's like, uh-huh. Yep. I
I mean,
won't get arrested for it. I guess that's what he means by honorable.
yes, what I meant more was less likely to get. The important part was the second bit.
All right. 46 it is. Here we go.
Good luck.
Oh, we never really gave a difficulty, but
Yeah, I did moderate.
about it. Okay. That's a success.
That is. Oh, he says, yeah. I'll go find the Vosentas, chat with their captain and see what I can move that for a, a fee, of course.
Yeah. Negotiate it with Tyree.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And
You
yeah,
need a ride.
you can collect that frag grenade that you didn't have to use, and you guys are now all kitted up.
But
And
what is our plan for disabling the Sensonet complex? Do we need high explosives, perhaps?
yeah,
We could
well,
go in with the explosives. It might be hard to get them in. I would suggest that we go in looking at the map and overload the power core. The power core should be connected to everything and fry everything.
So just going back, we're just trying to make sure that this thing doesn't detect
you try to take it offline.
Republic. Trying to take it offline.
If you have the skill set to reprogram it to not recognize a New Republic, you go for it. If that's how you want to complete this mission, you are authorized to do so.
If you,
Shan believes he does.
Ooh, okay.
well, Shan, if you can slice into the processing center and put in a back door, then the Imperials won't even know that it's disabled, and there will be a permanent hole in their defenses as opposed to one that they may eventually repair.
Exactly.
Wow.
But and Shan looks down at his uniform that's way too tight. I don't look like that expert. So I need someone else's help.
Well, who among us might look like that expert? Camera pans around, and in looking dashing and clean cut and crisp and professional.
Jody, I think, is probably going to be our best bet.
Yes, yes.
They would trust the droid.
And I think you actually have like officer bars, and your uniform has you're wearing the jodhpurs. Isn't that what
Mm,
it's called, right? The pants with the
yeah. The
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
I got it right.
the horse riding type clothes. Yeah. Uh, Okay, well then that's our plan, right? Is to go in, infiltrate the sensor complex, remain completely undercover as much as possible, slice the sensor processing center, and if that fails, overload the power core. Right, that's our clear objectives. Now, in terms of weapons that we can bring in, weapons are obviously going to be potentially a downfall. Do we want to try and do something to hide them so that we can bring them in, or do we want to stash them somewhere?
So I think part of Jodie's disguise or, setup is, she has exposed wiring because she's worked on herself. And I think Bats like put plating on her. So her weapons, her pistols are underneath that plating.
Hmm.
Because someone looking as janky as I do just can't walk into an Imperial facility. They'd
Hmm.
look twice.
I don't want to walk in there without my frag grenade, stun grenade, smoke grenade, vibroblade, and blaster pistol, frankly, just in case it all goes wrong. And I'm sure that Cola doesn't want to walk in without their weaponry either. So Shan, perhaps using this workshop that we have access to here, you could fab up some sort of like I'm thinking like a sort of like equipment trolley thing with like a hidden compartment that we could stash things in. Because I think like as all of us carrying it, in my head is always like, well, they check you individually. The sooner or later they're going to find the blaster pistol that one of you's got hidden, right? Because five of you walking in with a blaster pistol. But if all of it is securely hidden within one thing, got higher chance, and then we can get it out once we're inside the base, right? And they won't be through. We'll get through the security check basically. So
I like this plan. Yeah, Jen will try to fabricate some sort of trolley. Is who's gonna push the trolley? Is that Jody?
Yeah, I'll push
Is
that.
that Cole? Okay.
And I think
Uh,
I'll work with you to develop the
yeah.
trolley so that there's like a button or a switch or something I can hit that'll shoot out the secret drawers from the side. So if we get in trouble, everybody can jump and grab their stuff quickly.
It does look like vibro knives, and Jody has a holdout blaster. Those are supposed to be concealed anyways, so we could probably get away with those.
Yeah.
But the heavier gear, yeah, we'll be putting in.
it's also the grenades, right?
It's the
Which
grenades.
like
Yeah.
and concealable, I think means concealable in terms of like people can't see you carrying them, but like the security checkpoint probably would catch you if you didn't have some sort of preparation, right? Like I think the vibro knife is probably the only thing that any of us are carrying that might be stashed up a sleeve sort of thing.
But the explosives would explain. I mean, we're in a mining facility, right?
Right.
And if they need to expand part of the uh, complex, then they'd have the explosives could be explained away. We need additional explosives to, add on because we're bringing in more troops.
While we do our work on the computers and the sensor. Yeah. I think yeah, but it sounds like we're making the stash box anyways. So let's hope the stash box works. Is that a roll of some kind, Rich, or is that
It
perhaps a roll,
certainly should be a stash box roll.
or should
Or
that be a roll that we make as we go through the security check?
oh, that's fun. Yeah,
You know,
let's
like
hang tight on that. Yeah, no, that's
yeah,
really really clever. I like
like
that a
when you
lot.
do a demolitions check at the point that the trap is supposed to go off, as opposed to beforehand when you know it's not going to work.
That sounds great to me. I love it. Cool. So, what I would like to do now that we know exactly what is going down, um, this will be our mid-game bio break. We'll just take that bio break here, and I'll pause recording. We are back. So, you guys have fabricated a little trolley. I'm imagining it's one of those like sets of boxes this tall and it's on a little hover lift platform. You can push it. That is what Jody is pushing for you, the protocol droid slash beast of burden. As you guys arrive, I assume you get like Johnny Cab delivery service or arrive I'm not going to super worry about how you convey yourselves to the SensorNet complex. If you take a look at our map, you see that it is outside of the city proper. I'll unhide the map, sorry.
Yeah.
Outside of the city
Just
proper.
on that note, does Bats have a speeder?
Bastas did have a speeder.
Did have a speeder. Hmm. Okay, well, we'll work out our escape plan when it comes to it. You know? Uh, cool.
Okay. So you approach. Will, I think you're away. I'm not going to worry about the way that the entry point, because you have idents, but the entry point for this is like takes up more word count than any other part of the
Uh,
module.
I,
It is
I heard your glee at how
amazing.
ridiculous.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like it has all these like little secret things and word keys, and it's just like, wow, you were very worried about this. But instead, here is what we will do. To fake your way through and gain entry without any arising any suspicion, that is a heroic feat. However, this is a heroic feat that, as a team, you have all contributed to. Shan, your fabrication will play a part. Andon, your bearing and your bluster can play a part. So you need a combined, and we're going to allow two rolls, a combined total of 30. Otherwise, um, things will go badly. If you roll a 25 or better, it's worse because you're going to get in before someone runs it, and then you're half in and half out, just so we're clear. But below 25 means you're refused and they're going to attempt to arrest you. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Does that seem fair?
You said two rolls
Yes.
at 30?
Two rolls combined together
Ah,
must meet or exceed 30. Means we're going to have to do simple math. I hope that we are capable.
Well, I think I probably have the highest dice pool for one of these rolls because I have 5D in Deceive. And I can spend a character point to make it 6. I could spend 2 character points to make it 7, I suppose, couldn't I?
You certainly could, if you
Yeah,
so
why
wish.
not? Let's piss Lowe's off even more.
Lois is somewhere very
Yeah.
upset.
Should I do that?
I think you should. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. I mean, it's up to them.
Yeah, so someone's assisting you as well, Andon, right?
Oh yeah. Who's who do we think has got the gift of the gab to help sell this?
A
Me,
guard box is
probably.
situated in the front of the gate on the outside.
Oh
There are
no.
two stormtroopers on duty here at all times. Shifts run in 6-hour cycles. Six stormtroopers and their relief guards emerge from the complex to protect the gate during the changing of the guard. You
Good.
guys arrive during the changing of the guard.
Okay. So Cola will be my my assistant.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
When you approach the gate, the guards level their weapons and demand to see some identification.
Of course, of course. Here it is. Come on, we've got a schedule to keep to. You know the Empire runs on logistics. Any delay could be disastrous. Uh, isn't that right, junior grade assistant?
Absolutely right, sir.
So that's 8d6 then, I guess, if I buy 2.
8d6 against that total difficulty of 30.
28.
Oh my God! Oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's so great. Then we look back and it's the shoddiest looking crate thing.
Being pushed
That's
by Jody, who's all janky and like exposed wiring and everything, right?
Stormtrooper steps to. He's very impressed by you, but then they do run a little scanner over Sorry, sir. It's required. He said, sorry, sir. It's required.
Of course, I expect no less, but be quick about it, please.
So let us see, Shan, how your fabrication has gone.
And Jody was assisting me with this, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
So is this technical armament because I'm modifying the weapons inside so that they don't?
absolutely.
Okay, I think that's the best that yeah. Okay, so that's four, and then a fifth from Jody.
I should have set this at 50, obviously. Obviously.
I
I
think
thought a 30 plus
mathematically
was
we can't
scary.
fail here, but I am interested to see what the dice get because there is the rule by tens. All right, here we go.
Oh, that's true.
Okay,
Well, hot
so
damn. That is a
it's 45.
45?
45
That
total.
is by tens. Okay. So, well, I can't remember if we talked about this in the first session or not. You've exceeded the target number by 10 or more. You have achieved a critical hit. You can choose an extra effect based on the situation. You can deal with harm, which you don't have to work to take definite, undeniable control of the situation, impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy.
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think part of our idents is that we are like a hazardous crew. We're a hazmat group. They have to clear the computer core for what we're coming here to do.
Amazing.
So we take control of the situation, basically, then, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
So their
not
their little
only
sensor one goes off like wing. I'm like, yes, of course, because we're bringing in the.
Of
cool.
course,
And
this is
one of the oh,
shielded ionic radiation, of course. That's the most sensitive systems within any combat. Do you not even know what you're working with? That's a good job they've had professionals.
one of the Imperial officers says he like looks to the other officer because it's there's six out here, and you can see he's got a second lieutenant, like a trainee officer with him, and he goes, "You see, there was problems with some uh, contaminated freighter in orbit." Oh, they nod like yeah, and the Imperial trainer has like a full mustache, and this guy's just like a thin wannabe mustache. It doesn't fully connect. It's just like a little bit of naked skin in the middle. Um, yeah,
Well, uh, we should hurry. The longer we're not doing the work, the worse the situation could become.
of course, sir. And a couple of stormtroopers like peel off and are told to escort you guys inside.
We we exchange, relieved and like can't believe this is working looks as we go inside, right?
That's right. So, the entrance is a circular gray bunker extruding from the rocky hillside. You see as you pass through a three-layer blast door. Inside, the entrance foyer is quiet and lit only by a narrow band running down each wall. There's a motion detector, you notice, mounted on the right side of the corridor. You enter into Lobby A. Lobby A has a hallway that widens into a small lobby. The center of the lobby is a large, imposing desk. Behind the desk, two stormtroopers stand guard, keeping an eye on the hallway in front of them. From their station, they can see all activity which takes place in the entrance and hallway. These stormtroopers have evidently communicated with the two stormtroopers who are escorting you in and do not bother you as you pass through, making your way to Lobby B. The second lobby is much like the first, down to the two stormtroopers. There are doors to the right and left. You notice there's a final ID check here, which requires a moderate roll. Who will try to bluster their way through? Sorry, sir. We need one more check of the idents here on the internal systems. This
No,
gets you logged and makes sure that you will not be fettered again, sir.
if no one objects, then I think I'm probably the strongest candidate for this. Uh, yes, yes, of course. But if you all this bureaucracy, we've already been through the first gate, the second gate. This is vital work. The sensors go down. Well, you understand who will be responsible for that, don't you?
Just go ahead and put your ID in here, sir.
Of course, of course, of course. I will do my 5d6. What difficulty is this, Rich?
It is a moderate. You need a 15.
15. I've got character points to burn.
You're a bastard. I love it. Oh my God, so many dice. Wow, good thing you did. 66, and you got a 16 out of it. That is the opposite of that first roll. I saw many ones there. Not many ones, two ones, three threes, and a five. Whew, that's pretty weak. But the two stormtroopers go for a little bit, and they look at it. Then one of them turns the card slightly, and then it comes through, and bling, little green light comes on, and this way, sir. Move along. Move along. So, do you guys head to the sensor processing center, I assume? It has been evacuated because of your tremendous success.
Yeah, and
Are
Shannon.
those a bunch of like comm stations in a circle, like one of those like Imperial work pit things? Is that what we're
It
looking at?
is. The operations
Okay.
center is where the thousands of sensor buoys, ships, and probe droids trolling through the sector send their findings. There are vast databanks of the complex computer. Numbers are crunched, profiles generated, and findings presented on a giant three-dimensional holodisplay which orbits and oscillates in the center of the large room. There's a catwalk which circles and intersects the room. Beneath you in the two pits, dozens of techs who have been evacuated. They normally pour over readouts and reports trying to locate telltale signs of covert rebel supply lines and plot their destinations. There are normally up to 30 techs in this room. And the stormtroopers would walk the catwalks and keep an eye on things. They said clear the room, but I think the two stormtroopers who have escorted you to this point are still with you. What do you do?
This could be quite hazardous for the two of you. Do you not wish to stand outside?
One of them's quiet, which means he's probably using his internal comms. And then he comes back. Um, we've been ordered to observe your work, sir.
Of course, of course. Uh, it occurs to me that there are four of us and two of them. So all we really need to do is to make sure they're not observing Shan as he does his work, right? We just have to make sure they're observing us as we do absolute fucking nonsense like everywhere else, right? So that's the plan, right? Is that we all set about doing different tasks while Shan is actually doing the main task, and what Andon will be doing is managing, right, supervising, and we'll be trying to engage at least one of the stormtroopers in some form of dialogue, conversation. Oh, did you hear about what's happening on Coruscant? Deadly, disgusting business. The New Republic. Good job that here in Tapani we have the noble houses, of course, under the auspices of the Empire. Tell me, did you serve? Where did you serve? Yes. One of my cousins was an officer and he's just going to schmooze basically and try and distract them as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think I'm just making stuff I don't, or actually, maybe I do. I'm not super bad at tech stuff, so I can probably do things that I know are harmless, but I'm making a lot of to do about it, like, oh, code entered, sir, and that
I
sort of
think
thing, just to
I
draw
think
attention.
Cola should be the one in charge of Jody and I. Like we're doing the work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Jody's going to be, helping out. I unload the cart. I make sure that the, you know, uh, crate with the secret compartment is set on top, so it's easily accessible to everyone in case things go south. And I then turn around to do part of my job. I think part of my job is to work on the maintenance droids that should be able to maintain all of this. So I think I start with a mouse droid, and then we go through, some of that process as Cola directs me.
Oh, you're muted.
So, which you can hear this time. Thank you. Shan, here's the thing. I'm going to give you results for a few different difficulties. And then you build your die pool however you see fit. If you achieve a difficult rating, then you have with at least moderate success. Anything less than a 20 will mean that you are discovered, that there are countermeasures, and there will be problems. At the difficult level, you can disable the sensor net. It will be down for a number of days. Effectively, you can ham up the programming similar to somebody doing a denial of service attack that would take it down for up to a week. With a very difficult, you can take down the sensor net to the point where it will need to be fully replaced, which will take weeks. With a heroic success, you can lay it bare, reprogram it, and control it however you see fit. From like you may be able to like worm in to do the thing that you had proposed and say, the New Republic ships as I identify them no longer show up as a problem. So you need at least a 20 for you guys to not be in hot water. 25 means you've effectively achieved the mission, which is to take this down for a number of weeks. Because if you were to use explosives, they'd replace the system. So you have accomplished the mission. 30 is your dream scenario, but it is a heroic effort.
And I think where Jody has stacked the boxes, right? Shan's working behind that, and he's pulling out the cores from like the back of one of the consoles. These big cages of just blue acrylic is what it really is, and he's moving them around. It's very 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Love it.
I would be rolling technical plus computers plus my cybernetic enhancement. That makes it 6 dice.
What does your cybernetic enhancement look like?
It is one of those there's one of the droid interfaces, but it is built into my arm.
Yeah, very
Um,
cool.
and I think Jody is helping. Do you need to
Yes.
declare what level you're going for
No,
before you? Oh, okay. Jody is
I just want
helping.
you to understand the
Yeah.
gradations of success.
Okay. Jody's going to help in that she's reprogramming the mouse droid
Mhm.
um to be an eyes and ears. So it will report back like when they discover the issue, if anyone starts to tamper with it, and if anyone suspects. So that's how I'm helping.
I love it.
Can I
Uh,
spend my force point and give it to Greg?
well, I was going to use my first
Oh, you use your force point then.
point. Now, if I do that, does it also double the die from Jody?
That is a great question. Let me double check in our rules part. Okay.
I
It
mean,
just
it's
says double the dice they roll.
You double the dice you roll on a skill check.
okay.
Argue that.
Um, so I will
That's
add a clarification saying the help dice are not doubled.
Cool.
okay. So I'm rolling 13 dice
Jesus
because
Christ.
my six doubled plus Jody. Yep. Okay. Here we go.
Multiple people can help, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, well, too late. I got a 47.
Ah, nice, nice.
Can't die, but yes, 47.
Yeah, the can't die out of virtual die roller is just delightful. Like that cracks me up.
I hate it so much.
It amuses me because I'm like, why are you okay? That's great. Yes, sure. A virtual die can be canted on another virtual die. That's amazing. I am handing the description of this incredible success because that's not only a success,
Mhm.
it is a by 10. So, Greg, please tell us how Shan masters this.
Um, so with by 10, yeah. Cola. Who are you wanted by?
Sorry, who do I what?
Who are you wanted by?
Ooh, I think it's both the people we were robbing and my old crew.
Your old crew. Okay. Um, so Shan starts rearranging, and it's actually it's way easier than he thought it was gonna be. Like the Imperial tech, obviously that they haven't upgraded their systems here for a long time. No wonder our cover story worked because this is way old tech. They've been hodgepodging this thing on together, so it's easy. It's easy to basically take all of the IFF codes that were given to us from our rebel contact, put them in, cross-reference them to a table he makes up. It's going to look just like any rebel ship that comes through here is just going to be flagged as a freighter, carrying really bulk cargo. They're not going to know for a really long time that anything has gone wrong. Um, and then as he's going through it, he sees the same record again and again. And it's Cola's old crew coming to visit the casino. And so what Shan does is he flags that as a rebel ship. So the next time they come in, they are going to get inspected and get the full ISB treatment when they visit. And it also, of course, provides enough noise in the data that they will think that there's still rebel activity and they won't look at their systems. Um, he he's so happy with his work. He gives a little wink over to Jody. It's just easy peasy. And Shan starts slamming up like all of the computer cores. Hey, boss. Yeah, I think we're actually already done. That was pretty easy.
Excellent work. I told you I had the best professionals for the job. I imagine you could do with more such people within your own service. Of course, not to uh, besmirch the reputation of the Imperial forces, but this is why you hire professionals, of course.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Um,
You can, I would say, give it about 10 minutes before once you've left. There will be some residual ionic radiation exposed from the circuits. But then your technical staff can resume their duties.
and he nods along, and you're not sure how much he got of that, but he basically collects. Okay, these guys can come back in a few minutes. The
Yeah,
nerd techs. It's great.
it's all just technobabble, right? Because there's no not actually any exposed data equations.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. They don't need to understand the thing you just made up. Um, once it's declared done, there's a point where the doors open up,
Mhm.
and uh, a person with a lot of bars comes in. A lot of bars, like this, maybe the guy who commands the sensor net. He's, oh, well, excellent. I see that you've taken care of that little problem, Lieutenant Fulbert. Thank you for your work here. Need to, if you could, make sure that there's some details that are provided on all of the work that was concluded so that I can have my techs run it over and do a double check. Could be a thing that we could indoctrinate into our own processes, yes?
Yes, it's rather specialist work, so I hope that such an issue would not be needed for 100 years or more, given the good work of my man here. Uh, you
Hmm.
know, some skills are particularly bespoke, as it were.
Hmm, yes, yes, very good, very good. Would you like come into the cafeteria? Yeah, and
I would love to, sir, but sadly we have another job. You know how it is. No rest for the wicked.
well, at the very least, you come to my office and share a drink.
Of course, but perhaps my crew could go ahead. They don't need my supervision. A much less complicated job.
Cool. So you're saying, hey, I'll stick behind. You're trying to, um, you tell me which skill you're involving in, but you're basically negotiating for, yeah, I'll stick around with you, but my crew gets the hell out of here. I'm going to
Yeah,
call that a moderate role.
I think that's a bargain, right?
Feels like a bargain.
Negotiate and haggle, right? Because I'm not actually lying per se. I am.
I had him call you Andon. He would not call you Andon because you have a fake ident, so he would have called you a different name.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, you said Lieutenant Follett actually, which I thought was pretty good. You know, as far as catching yourself before saying the player's cover name. Thingy. You know what? I got 4D in that, and I'm gonna spend a character point because why not?
Love it. All right. So again, difficulty of 15.
19.
Woof. Yes, of course, of course. And have them head back to the ship, of course. Well, come with me, Lieutenant. Let me show you. I have a bit of art here in my office. Do, do, do.
Of course,
And
of course. So
ex-
as he goes down, I'll just say, just let me 1 second, sir, and I'm gonna. I can reach down surreptitiously, and I don't think my full vibro blade, but perhaps if I could steal Cola's vibro knife for a second, borrow it from the trolley, as I put a data pad back in the trolley and I extricate a vibro knife and slide it into my uniform, just in case. And as I go off, I stare at the others like, job done. Get the hell out of here. Like this is the mission.
Jody is very mechanically loading up the crates again, um, and putting things back on
you
the
put back
hover
all the
sled.
explosives you didn't have to use back into the
Right.
crate.
Yep.
Shan's like, we did it, guys. We don't have to blow this place up. All these innocent Imperials won't lose their lives. Sweet. Um, those two stormtroopers who escorted you in, they're relieved. Another pair of stormtroopers escort the three of you out. As you are walking out, one of the stormtroopers walks near you, Cola, and says, "So, I hear you're the tech genius here. You ran all the code."
Ooh, it's a team effort.
Hey, is it true that there's no resupply coming from Coruscant anymore? All comms back to the core and mid have been shut down for a few months now.
That's above my pay grade. I just uh, I just deal with tech stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, okay then. Hey, I hear there are openings in the sensor net all the time. So if you're ever looking for a reassign, that casino's not half bad.
I'll keep that in mind. Loser, she whispers to whoever is closest as soon as she can.
And then you guys come through lobby B, through lobby A, out into the murky sunlight, and head back to. Did you pay the extra to have the Johnny Cab wait for you?
Oh, I think no, I think we like well, it's a bit of a way, but I think we walked here.
That's amazing. That's so low rent. Oh my God. It's just the goofy. I love it. Sweet. Um, it is it is early. Um, but I would like to see two things. First of all, you guys, we do a star wipe. You make your way back to the Vosen Toss, and Captain Mox, true to her word, with her newly unionized droids, is ready to bring you guys on board. Do you leave Andon behind? Or do you
I mean, if
wait?
he's not back when we're leaving, then
I think
Um,
we wait.
we wait for a while, but we do not contact Andon. And I suggest if we have to leave, we leave a drop here, that Andon would know about on, this is how to get out a coded signal for someone to come pick you up.
So
And
Andon, huh?
Jody signs it and says, I will make sure we come back and pick you up.
Nice. Then I'm going to hand the reins to you, Will. If you could narrate the epilogue for Andon.
Um, I think that this Imperial officer genuinely wants to share a glass of Amasec to, talk to really bore off. They go on for ages, and and then just left behind on the planet. Uh, and he's in the wind. No one's after him. No one. They don't suspect anything, right? For anyone to be detected would be to jeopardize the mission. And so Amden is shows up at Bat's place and sends a secure comm link to say, separated from the group, but mission success. I'm here when you need me. And he's going to calm his house for a shuttle to be sent out to pick him up. And I would like, fictionally, Andon to be your man on the inside of the Tapani nobility. And whenever you wish to invoke him as getting paperwork done for you, sending bribes, money, that kind of thing, like he's basically gone from being a field operative to a back of house handler, right? Because now, I think that his face is perhaps too well known among some of the Imperials who like officer class. So now he has to be a bit more low key in his support again. But yeah, the team moves on, and Andon has to go back to his life as a noble, but can offer support from a distance.
I like that. That's really cool.
I
So
mean, there was no opportunity for me to challenge someone to a duel this session and get killed. So,
if you guys had rolled poorly, there was going to
Yes.
be duelable people.
Yes. Yeah.
You're a victim of your own success, one might say. Cool. So, are there any like knock-on scenes? We've got a bit of time. Are there any knock-on scenes on the Vos and Toss? I constantly want to call it the Toes and Voss, but it's the Vos and Toss.
I think Jody, you know, escorts everybody back on and goes to the loading droids, ASP1 and ASP2, and talks to them a little bit about the job that they've been doing, making sure they're up to speed. And then I'll go talk to who is the captain? Leona.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna talk to Leona and say, sorry for my behavior before. I didn't mean to make things crazy or more trouble for you. Um, how have things been working out?
Well, I'm taking a hit on profit, but we've worked out a long-range plan where when I pay off what I paid for ASP 1 and ASP 2, I'll start to see some profit again.
I think you will notice that they are more loyal to you now, and they will be a solid addition to your crew.
Hope you're right.
Thank you. And then I'll leave. I don't want to push my luck here. Yeah.
Fair enough. Cool. Uh,
I think
any?
maybe Shan and Cola. Shan might tell Cola what he did. I don't know. Or did Cola see Shan do that?
Yeah, I think that's more fun. Like looking over his shoulder and like giving him a slap on the back when he
Yeah.
when he designates them as rebels.
Yeah.
Um, Back on the ship, I think Cola is going to burn the Imperial uniform she had to wear. She did not enjoy that. It's ugly and ill-fitting and Imperial, and all of those three are bad things. So
Amazing. Cool. What about Jody had a quick scene. We saw Andon's exit, Cola, Shan, any last bits
Yeah.
or
Just to pick up a thread from the previous session, I think, now Shan actually has a quiet moment and takes out that Imperial code cylinder that Siren had given him and
ooh.
and takes his data pad isolated from the rest of the ship and starts to try to crack it and figure out what's going on.
Let me pause for just a second. Got to
Sure.
deliver your house. I'll be right back. Excellent. So you're looking at the Imperial code cylinder, and I'm just going to let it follow on from your crazy success. I think you now have just a little bit of a short-term advantage on understanding Imperial codes, and you are starting to slice in and get some of that information, which will set us up for our next mission.
Ooh.
So let's bring things to a close here. The player characters who are successful earn, if you enter the complex and get out alive, you get 2 character points. Um, there's one if characters that figured out the outer guard's verbal security code receive an additional character point because things, but don't we're going to worry about that. You obviated it. The complex was overcome. It says destroyed, but you did even better. That is an additional 2 character points, and the one extra is for your great idea of, hey, let's not destroy it, which means they'll just replace it. Let's circumvent it. So 5 character points for everyone, even Will's character. You get 5 character points. So um, that is that. So I've now, because we ended a little bit early, going to force you to listen. This is the way that it's written. This is amazing. We're now done with the actual game of the game. We'll do some wishes and stars in just a second. But um, so When the characters approach the gate, the guards level their weapons and demand to see some identification. If the player character's ID cards check out, one of the stormtroopers steps in front of a video camera and tells the security center to open the gate. He does not use the word sir in his message. See below. While doing so, he thumbs a small button under the console. If the button is not pushed, the guards inside know that something is wrong. There is no chance for people standing outside the guard box to see this button being pressed. The box was designed to block that view. If the ID doesn't check out, he refuses to allow the character's entrance and moves to summon additional guards. Note, the button helps ensure someone posing as a stormtrooper cannot order those inside to open the gate. Chances are the characters will not think to look for one. But there's an additional protection. If a stormtrooper is forced to order the gate open, he does so but uses the word sir in his message. This is a signal that he is under duress. Naturally, the stormtrooper will neglect to press the button if he can get away with it, and a character posing as a stormtrooper who uses sir will also be in trouble.
It's all a trap.
A lot of words spent on that I've now made you listen to. So let's finish up with our traditional stars and wishes. We start with wishes so we can end with stars. Will, you can make a wish, and maybe I will grant it. Maybe.
I mean, I want to see this team, have to do a full-on assault of something at some point. Something deadly.
Mhm.
Other than 5 people in an alley, right?
Yeah, yeah. Somebody who can't be intimidated by two pairs of blasters, two blasters.
Yeah.
I agree. Cool. Who else has wishes?
Yeah, I think I'd also like to see well, maybe not necessarily an assault, but a full-on fight at some point.
Absolutely.
See how scary that gets.
Greg or Steven?
Somewhat selfishly, I'd like to figure out a way to get a force point back. The what else? Um, I think I assisted Cola in avoiding some of her future entanglements, but Shan has not. So Temple could come looking, or all sorts of other entanglements could happen there. Um, and I don't know. I don't mind the the something Voss, the toes and Voss,
Mm-hmm.
Voss and toes. I don't know. I kind of would like to see a little ship thing for our hauler. If it's going to be our conveyance from mission to mission, it can be an unlikely hero ship for us. I wouldn't mind that at all. So
Fun. It's a cool idea. I dig it.
Rich, isn't there a move that from another game that you had that had while you were on the ship and have some time do blah blah blah?
Yes. Yes, I know you love that move, as do I. Yeah, it's a good one.
I'd like to give out. Well, this is wishes. For wishes, I'm fascinated with the spending of uh character points XP. Um, I've seen other games that do this, and they've claimed that the characters are balanced because if you spend your character points to get an advancement, balances out with if you spend your character points in order to succeed. And I don't know how all that math works, but it's super fascinating. I like seeing it in play. So like Will did a really great job. Oh, that I'm going to start with stars. Will did a really great job of spending character points and writing his character like it was a used car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, oh, we need to succeed here. I'm going to spend those points, and to the point where he was also like, "Can I spend my force point to make sure we succeed in this mission?" Which Greg had already done. He had already like, I know how to do this, and that was the key point. That's what they're for. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. We'll circle back around to Greg. Any stars from you?
Yeah, no, star to Will for playing the our master of disguise because this crew really needed one. Stephen, I loved the detail of you reprogramming the mouse droid so that it is our future lookout for when this eventually maybe gets found. Um, and then yeah, Cola, I enjoyed the having you boss us around thing. For like you're the technical expert. Like we need somebody else to be around and like engaging the stormtroopers in small talk. So yeah, all around a really fun session, and I enjoyed not destroying the Imperial base.
I did too. I thought that was really brilliant. Adesh, any stars from you?
Yeah, fun session. I think most of the specifics have been mentioned. I also find it's been a long time since I played a game where character points are also or experience points are also a resource. It I'm more on Lowell's side on this. I don't think this is good because it's sure they're balanced if you play a certain amount of time. Like for Will, who knows he's not coming back, there's no point in saving them,
Yep.
so that you just spend them. But if you know you're going to play for many more sessions, then you definitely don't want to spend them because buying up dice is more efficient. But it's also uh, it's not a pain point for me with the game. I think it's fine, um, and I enjoy the game. Otherwise, I haven't played this for way too long, more than 30 years. So it's fun to engage with it and to see that yeah, Greg Kostikian is a really good game designer. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Adesh. I appreciate those stars. And last, Will, end us off. What stars did you have that weren't already expressed?
I enjoyed how you made the world feel like we could do more stuff if we wanted to, like Zint, etc. There's just no reason for us to actually engage with that, given that we'd already found our contact to a great extent,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I enjoyed that, as a group, we did stay on mission and on target, which is often a downside to, RPG groups with a mission. People easily get distracted. I loved hearing, well, looking at the last session, for example, it appears to have been largely a case of being distracted from the mission.
A little bit. A little bit.
um, but yeah, I'm very happy because I was thinking, as Greg said it, I was like, you just blow it up and they're just going to fix it, right? Like, this is the dream, the back door into the Imperials network. They don't even know about. We have surpassed Andor in his spy shenanigans. And if I could have one more wish, it would be that this took place on a Sunday rather than a Saturday, so it was much more convenient for me to do. But
Something to consider.
yeah,
Something to consider.
but may the force be with you all. And I do hope that you bring Andon back in at some point as your, sugar daddy at least at some point.
Cool. Thank you all so much for playing. I had a splendid time. It's always fun to hang out with you as well. We'll miss you in future sessions, Will, but enjoy your summer and all the travel and fun that you plan to have. And with that, we will bring the recording to a close.